How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. Donahue here again. This time we're going to take a look at some practice problems for carbohydrates, lipids, and nucleic acids. All right, so number one, glucose and sucrose are examples of what type of molecule? They're called carbohydrates. And why are they called that? Well, because if we take a look at glucose specifically, you may already know its molecular formula is C6H12O6, and when you simplify that to the empirical formula, look at this. You get carbo, one carbon, and then H2O, water, hydrates. And that's where carbohydrate comes from. All right, number two, give an example of a disaccharide. So it's basically there are two sugars bonded together. Some examples could include sucrose. That's one. Or, also another common one, lactose. Right? If you've heard of lactose intolerant people, they can't digest this sugar, this disaccharide that's often found in milk. Number three, give an example of a monosaccharide. That's talking about just one single sugar. And I'll list a couple for you. We got glucose. That's like the go-to example for everybody. We got fructose, which maybe find that in fruit or something. We got galactose, which is fun to say. It makes it sound futuristic. That's the food that they're eating in space or something. We got, that's a deoxyribose, which, is in DNA. That's the D part. And we also got ribose, which is the R in RNA. And if you take a look, hey, what do all those end up in? OSE. Weird, huh? It's like there's some sort of system of naming. All right, number four, starch, glycogen, and cellulose are made of what specific monomer? This one, a little trivia, get ready for it, glucose. Right, so you bond a bunch of these together, you can make starch, you can make glycogen, you can make cellulose. All of them are made up of the same monomer, glucose. Number five, what compound serves as an energy reserve for the body and found in higher levels in muscles and the liver? I don't know. What could it be? Glycogen. Right, so you break down glycogen and you increase the blood sugar because it breaks down into glucose. It sends it out in the bloodstream, and now you have some more energy to keep, running from a bear or whatever it is that you're doing. All right, number six, which of the following are parts found in nucleotides? Remember nucleotides? We got the GCAT, guanine, cytosine, adenine, thymine of DNA. What is DNA made of? Well, it's not made of amino acids. It is made of a 5-carbon sugar, either deoxyribose or ribose, a nitrogen-containing base, and phosphoric acid. So not A, the other three. Number seven, what is the basic building block of a nucleic acid called? It's called a nucleotide. Right? There you go. 8, what keeps DNA in its double helix shape? Y'all hopefully know this from biology. It's hydrogen bonds. That's what's keeping it in that double helix shape that I, for some reason, am attempting to draw. All right, number 9. What is the difference between saturated fats and unsaturated fats? Well, let's see. Unsaturated fats have double bonds. And saturated fats, only single bonds. And that's the difference. Right? It sounds simple. Right? All right, number 10. What are trans fats and what process produces them in our food? All right, so trans fats are unsaturated fats where you have this double bond and the carbon groups are in the trans position from each other. They are on opposite sides of the double bond. And these really unhealthy for you, really bad for you. So where are they coming from? They're coming from hydrogenation, as well as sources of high heat. If you have some fat and you're deep frying or something and it gets really hot, you can create these trans fats. The amount of trans fats can increase. All right, what is meant by omega fatty acids and what is their significance in our diet? So the omega is telling us the location of the double bond in relation to the last carbon or the terminal carbon. And what is their significance in our diet? They are essential because we can't make them. Right, so our bodies can make some vitamins and stuff. They can make some fats, but these omega fatty acids are essential in our diet because we can't make those. 12. How do phospholipids behave in water? Well, the phosphate group will hang out with the water, and the lipid end, the lipid region, hangs out the other lipids. So one thing that can form is what we call a phospholipid bilayer. So we have these phosphate groups, the circles, and we have these lipid groups, and they form a bilayer, meaning that there's 2 layers of them. And the reason that they do this is because now the lipids are all hanging out together and hiding from the water because they're hydrophobic, and the phosphate groups are all hanging out together with the more aqueous environment. And this right here is what's making the cell membrane. All right. Oh, that's it. Cool. Hope you found it helpful. See you in class. Okay, bye.